And Longhorn Steakhouse. If they only made a Texas Longhorn Steakhouse.
We recorded.
That would be great.
Yes, we are recording.
Oh, are we really?
Yeah. We got to do the opening, though, don't we?
Whoops.
This is the greatest way to start the podcast ever.
Some other guy that you knew before. You other guys, you know I love you more. You took me by surprise, I must say. When I found out yesterday, ooh, I paid it to the grapevine. Not much longer.
It's the 3 Men, 2 Cents podcast. It's the greatest podcast no one's ever heard of.
Honey, yeah.
You can just feel the greatness in that band.
Hey, exactly what it just said. It's the greatest podcast no one's ever heard of. Except for our, what are we up to now?
I'd like to thank both.
27 subscribers.
I'd like to thank both viewers for tuning in tonight. Jared's wife's working, I would say I'd like to thank all 3 of you.
I would like to thank the, if it goes by the last 2, the average around 265 people that will watch this episode by Tuesday evening.
Yes.
And then it will sit at 265 for the next 3 weeks.
So if you missed those 2 episodes, go back and watch them.
Yeah. We
and
want
get our numbers back up.
I want to formally apologize for the extremely long episode of an hour and 10 minutes, realizing we were competing with the Titanic movie.
Well,
I didn't know that's what you're going to apologize for.
Yeah, I'm not going to apologize for the comment about Burrow. That's not coming out. No, that man is great.
Wow, and I'm not going to apologize for
your shirt.
Apparently making fun of all the people that died trying to build Mount Rushmore, which, by the way, another Mount Rushmore segment.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thank everyone for joining us. This is episode 2. Chris Nida, I'll let you do the honors. The name of the episode brought to you by Chris Nida.
Yes. Tonight's episode is called Food for Thought. So we're going to talk about food.
Forethought.
And we're going to think about it.
You think about it too.
Yeah, you guys think about it. We're going to have our Mount Rushmore of restaurants. One of us in here that is on this side of Eric has the best list.
You do have a list, yes.
No, the best list. Oh. Now, my wife will make fun of this list because she makes fun of me every time I suggest to eat at one of these restaurants.
This part of the podcast is brought to you by Chris Nida, who is insane. Yes, I said it. Insane.
It only took 3 minutes.
That's a record for me.
Well, I mean, looking anyway. So, and also I should point out, don't forget, folks. Yes, thank you, Chris. Food for Thought, episode 2. Continue to like, share, subscribe. Go to YouTube. Our YouTube page was it 3 Men 2 Cents podcast. Go to our page there on YouTube and hit the subscribe button, like and share it. And of course, we post it on Facebook as well. The link to YouTube. So continue to do that as well. Jared, you want to talk? You kind of talked about this with us in between doing the intro episode 1 and this one about kind of how we're kind of laying this out now for new episodes each and every week or every other week, however you want to. You tell them what we're doing.
So our intentions are to do an episode every 2 weeks. I assume this is what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, every 2 weeks. We're looking at Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock. If you don't catch us at 8 o'clock, you can watch us at 9 o'clock or whenever because it's on the internet. So this will come out February 25th. Next episode should be March 11th. That's our plan.
Thank you to our sponsor, Disney.
Yes.
Wow, that just got
and
real
Zanzi's.
quiet real fast.
I guess he was waiting for me to say.
I figured Eric would have something to go with that. But
So I think what we've decided, Jared, make sure I'm right here. So we're recording this on Saturday, February the 25th.
Posting it, yes.
Whereas when we'll be posting it at 8 a.m. So when you're watching this, it'll be Saturday, February 25th. And then, so episode 3 will then be
March 11th.
March 11th. Gotcha.
According to the calendar.
Yes, that would be 2 weeks after, which is crazy to think that March is already that close.
You
But
can wait that long.
But anyway, so all right, thank you, Jared. And then also something we've talked about. We want to hear from you guys. Continue to comment and discuss, interact with us. Send us your mail. We're going to do the mailbag. Have a segment where we do a mailbag and take questions or topics that you want us to answer or discuss. And most of those, of course, when we answer your questions, Jared will give his thought. I'll give my thought. Then Chris will say something, and Chris will say something.
Then Chris will give you the facts. Thank you.
How dare you? All right, so we want to get that started. So on they can comment on the YouTube page when they're watching the video, or comment on our Facebook page as well, 3 Men 2 Cents Podcast, and ask us some questions or some topics you want us to talk about and discuss. So let's get to first things first before we get to our lovely Mount Rushmore segment of food, of restaurants. Something we're going to add a little bit, and I don't know if you know this or not, but all 3 of us are dads.
I'm a dad. Are you a dad?
Yes. Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
Yep.
Yep.
ABBA.
That's what I heard.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to... Well, the dad jokes have already started, apparently. So we're going to hit you with some dad jokes. Jared's got one that he's been dying to tell everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, I'm hoping, has one. He was,
Holstered.
Okay.
It's
One
So,
of my favorites.
Go ahead, Jared, with our first. This is exclusive, folks. It is the first ever dad joke uttered on the 3 Men 2 Cents podcast.
So our food theme, going with our food theme. Do you know I had McDonald's today? I got a kids meal at McDonald's today.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
His mom was super mad at me. She did not like me after that.
Poor kid.
Notice I took the drink of water for effect. Good
Did
job.
you take the toy
Good job.
too?
It's just a kids meal.
Wow, that's all.
Couldn't eat the toy.
All right, Chris, what about your dad joke?
Okay, so what do you call a cow with no legs?
Ground beef.
Doesn't matter what you call it; it's not coming.
Wow.
It's a stationary steak.
Oh Lord. We're gonna make people forget we ever said anything about Joe Burrow's jockstrap or
Thank you for bringing that back up.
oh yeah, my bad. Or the dead people at Mount Rushmore. Or what's his name's quarterback's tiny
Throws with gloves
tiny
on.
hands. Yeah. Oh shoot. Where was that, Chris? You led me right into it. Yeah.
You got to throw.
I know. What was it? Was it this one? No, that
Yellow.
wasn't it. Yeah, thank you.
Black and yellow.
Nope, that's not it.
Are you sure?
I guess I should have wrote down what
Did
they
you
were.
label it?
Well, no, I wrote 5 red, 5 orange, 5 here.
But you didn't write what they were.
You just
Nope,
wrote
sure
the color
didn't,
and the
folks.
number.
Oops,
So that's the dad joke. Here, I
All right,
labeled the
let's
buttons.
see.
And what'd you
Let's see
label?
here.
The
What's-
color that I
what
can
you just
visually see
said.
they are.
Okay, yeah, okay. Maybe
think
it's
it-
yeah. No, that's Chris Farley. Maybe it's this one.
Oh my
No, it's definitely not that one either. All right, movie. How about my dad joke?
Yeah, I thought that was it.
Well, let's see here. Oh, 9 minutes in, and we haven't even got through our first segment. My dad joke is Jared, Chris.
What?
How do you get a Pikachu on a bus?
I don't know.
You Pokemon. I don't know. I heard that. I never got into Pokemon or Ichiban or whatever his name was. So,
Ichiban, that's a great place.
let me tell you something, folks. I never thought I would like a place like that. Ichiban 2 over in Point Pleasant. I've gone a couple times with a couple of my coworkers at the courthouse, and let me tell you, I have decided I like sushi.
Yeah.
And
I love Ichiban.
Oh, I'm telling you, we've been
We've been
over there 3 times. The boom boom sauce that you get the orangish boom booms. Oh my gosh.
I love the gyoza. I guess I'm probably saying it wrong because I'm culturally bad, but like that appetizer.
Aren't those the little things kind of look like little pot stir things
It's
or
a
whatever?
rice flour type thing wrapped around chicken and pork.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what that is you're dipping it in, but it's like a sweet. Oh my.
Yeah.
It didn't make my list, but oh my.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't qualified.
Yeah.
It didn't meet qualifications.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, now that we've wasted 10 minutes to get to our segment. So, okay, so folks, we talked about earlier, this is episode 2, Food for Thought. And we are, last episode, we hit you with our world famous Mount Rushmore segment on our Mount Rushmore of the greatest NFL quarterbacks. And tonight, for our next Mount Rushmore segment, we are going to hit you with our Mount Rushmore of food restaurants. And let me play let me give you a little intro to it, and then Jared and Chris and I will kind of explain to you our criteria. So this is our another segment of Mount Rushmore. It's time for the 3 Men, 2 Cents podcast segment. Who's on your Mount Rushmore? Chris, Jared, who is on your Mount Rushmore? So, Jared, hit us with kind of how we've set this up, our qualifications for how each of us picked the 4 restaurants that are on our Mount Rushmore.
So we had a couple of things we decided to do this week. We're doing the Mount Rushmore of food. We're talking about chain restaurants. So we're not talking like local places. Sorry. Even if you have multiple locations like Chick Shop, McClure's, we're not including them. Sorry. And then we're talking about sit-down restaurants. They're not fast food. We're going to do, that'll be a list all of its own, but that's the qualifications we got for this week, and that's what we'll talk about.
I like it. All right, so how do we want to do this, guys? Now, last time, Jared, you kind of mentioned it. We kind of did ours in order, ranking them, but really the Mount Rushmore is, I mean, they're placed up there. I think they're placed in order of presidents, right? Yes.
I don't know.
I think so. Washington.
I'm not educated enough.
Washington, I know that, but
Washington, Jefferson. I think they're placed. But anyway, so we kind of decided instead of saying, okay, this is our number 1, this is our number 2, this is our number 3. I think we're just going to list. So do we want to each do our 4?
Yeah.
And so that way we each get all 4 done. So Jared,
or we can throw out one at a time and like no particular order.
Right. It doesn't matter to me. Chris, what do you think? You want to do them one at a time, or you want to all 4?
Yeah, I would say we each do our choice, and then explain it, and then keep it. This way, it's just not one person talking.
I got
for
you.
an extended period of time.
Yeah,
we keep it flowing, changing.
Right.
Having said that, I am going to have I'm going to start from my what I would start from my. Yeah, I'll pull over for that. Whereas I'm going to make a special trip for that one.
Yeah,
that's how I'm going to do.
I'll do the same. I'll do mine that way as well. From I'll start the first one to second one to third one to fourth one, and the fourth one I tell you is the one that I'm like, okay, I'm going to drive 3.5 hours to go eat at this place because it's my favorite. So, Chris, you started last time. So, Jared, you want to start this time?
Sure.
You're starting off your Mount Rushmore of restaurants.
Yeah. So with that, one of our family's favorites we go to occasionally is Outback. Just like it. I get the steak and shrimp. Of course, it's pretty much what I get everywhere, but
there's nothing wrong with that. Steak and shrimp is good.
It's cooked good.
Yeah.
Don't think I've ever had a bad experience. Good atmosphere, and it's just good.
Are you blooming onion people?
Always.
Yeah, definitely. Chris, what about you? What is your the first on your Mount Rushmore of food?
Okay. Some of you guys might be old enough to watching this.
Sorry.
To remember.
My bad, folks. Apologize.
Okay. Some of you are old enough to remember when this was in Jackson and Gallipolis, the Ponderosa. Now.
That salad bar. Oh. Whew.
Great salad bar. Like I love the hot wings. Oh my gosh. I mean, I was an obese kid. My shirt size looked like an algebra problem, and it's because of things like I would get probably 10 to 12 hot wings, get those amazing mashed potatoes and gravy, finish that plate, go back, get a duplicate plate of the same thing. Sometimes making a third trip for the exact same thing. But like it was just my grandpa always took me to the one in Jackson, so for me it was like a nostalgic thing. It's an old west style field of restaurant. Also has great steak, great buffet, great salad bar. If you like to eat, you got to make a stop there. There is still one up near Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
It's by the old looking McDonald's. It's a High Street.
Yeah, right on High Street. Yep.
There's one on High Street. So if you've never had Ponderosa, do yourself a favor and go to High Street and get some Ponderosa.
There might still be some in West Virginia too, I'm thinking. Maybe. I'm not for sure. All right. Well, I'm going to go the same. Chris and I are actually going to agree on this, and that is Ponderosa. And I'm going to say it probably for the I just said Chris and I agreed.
Is that funny?
That we agreed. Gosh
It
almighty.
needs to be like a shock.
Yeah, I don't have one. I got one.
That's just silence.
Do
We got
the
crickets.
no. Do the no, the office no.
Here's the problem.
Remember, it's the one you labeled a color, not an actual what it
That's
was.
right. I don't know which. I think it was this one.
Oh my
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened was when Chris and I agree. But I'm going to agree for all the same reasons that that Chris just said. It brings back a lot of memories. The Gallipolis one, even more so the one up in Jackson that just closed down maybe less than, I don't know, it's been within the last 3 or 4 years. But we had a lot of my dad's mom, my grandma Ruth, had a lot of family in Jackson County, and we would, anytime we had birthdays or family events, that's where we would go to the one in Jackson. And then there was a 2 or 3 year stretch where we just went up there and ate lunch after church almost every Sunday. So the one in Gallipolis took a little downward spiral the last few years that it was open. But anyway, other than that, and like if we're traveling anywhere and I see a Ponderosa, which you don't see a lot of. Now, another one on my list.
Before you go there.
I saw a bunch of down south, so I'll get to that. Yeah.
So what? You remember when they had all you can eat steak?
Yeah. And I ate it.
Did
Yeah.
you
Like
do?
a few of them.
We
I
used
think
to
they
go
had.
all the
So,
time.
so this,
Didn't they have all you can eat shrimp too, right?
well, this is how bad I am with Ponderosa. So I was in Columbus we were up there going to Topgolf for work. And on the way back, I called back. I was like, hey, they got a Popeyes. And I was all excited. And I went there and ate Popeyes. And I came out and I drove down the road and there was a Ponderosa. I had just eaten and I still pulled in to get Ponderosa because I'm like, well, I'm never going to be up here by
I
this
would've done
again.
it.
So I might as well eat again, even though I just ate a few minutes ago.
Absolutely. I would have done it.
This is why I have a heart problem.
What I was thinking of was we used to go there as a family, and when my grandma was still alive, she'd bring aluminum foil and take some.
Would you take?
Oh, yeah.
No, it doesn't say all you
Oh,
can eat here.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, we would take extra shrimp. By the way, this is off the
Order one to go.
This is off the subject, but Chris just made the best chicken sandwich is at Popeyes. I'm telling you, that is forget Chick-fil-A, forget Bojangles, forget what's some of the other ones. Zaxby's, which I think is more down south.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
Popeyes is
the
it.
Popeyes chicken sandwich. All it is just that breaded chicken, mayonnaise, and a pickle, or the spicy mayonnaise if you get the spice. I'm telling you,
And the Cajun gravy on the mashed potatoes. I wish I could make Cajun gravy, but
I could eat 4 or 5 of those.
Mm.
All right, Jared,
And
what's your next one? Or number 2? Well, not number 2, but your second one. We're not trying not to order in order.
Yeah, probably. So on this list, it was one of those things I was trying to figure out how do I narrow it down to 4. Because my number 1 is definitely like number 1 for us. But
Well, there's a lot I left off this because I couldn't because we only were able to do 4.
right,
Yeah.
So one of the ones I threw on there was IHOP, and it's not one that I just go to all the time, or I probably haven't been since I was in college. But that was kind of the point. Like we used to go in college after flag football games and different things, and just have a lot of memories there. Thinking about hanging out with friends and getting some pancakes at 11 o'clock at night because you could.
Does sound good.
Delicious. I do not like the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. Just saying. I don't like
What's that?
pancakes and fruit.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's got like strawberries and stuff on it.
See,
Sounds like a mistake.
Maple syrup pancakes.
Make like
Oh,
a
no,
breakfast taco. Get a pancake folder, put bacon and eggs, and then drizzle syrup over it. It's like a breakfast taco.
Yeah. Good choice. I don't think any of the three of us, or at least me, hello, look at the size of me. I don't think any of us are going to disagree with any of these choices tonight because they involve food. All right, Chris, you're second off of your Mount Rushmore.
So my next one is, again, it's a place where I say, oh, let's go there. And my loving wife, in all her beauty, looks at me and says, are you 65 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Because I love the Cracker Barrel.
I knew exactly that's where you were.
Oh, my God.
As soon as you said, are you 65? You probably sit
In the rocking chairs.
You probably sit in the rocking chairs.
I sit in the rocking chairs.
Yep. You are 65.
I play bluegrass on my phone if no music is playing. I go in the general store. I will sit and play checkers. If
By
the
yourself?
checkers are out. Well, no, usually there's some other person random sitting there. Nobody else will play
random
with me.
checkers.
No, like, I'll be, you want to play? Nobody in my family will play with me. But like going through the general store, it's just like a walk through time. And then when you sit down, it's amazing.
Hey, Jared, you just want to take this one over because
How dare you? For one, and then you get the root beer that comes out in a frosted mug, and you get your own bottle. So you could feel like early alcoholism as a kid. I mean, my kids love it. I love Cracker Barrel. It is a nostalgic piece of restaurant American history.
it is. They have really good ham and cheese sandwich.
Oh,
I mean, they have good everything. So.
Chicken.
everything I've eaten there, I've loved.
Well, my number two on my sorry, you I didn't want to make
No,
sure
you're
you're
good.
my number or second. The next one on my list is again. I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying I'm going to put it above Ponderosa, but we're not going in any particular order. But this one is one that I've just really come to lately, and it's actually my wife Abby's favorite one. So whenever we're up we eat the one in Athens a lot, and then there's one down in Huntington, the new part there in between the mall and downtown Barbersville, and that's Texas Roadhouse, and they have on their appetizer menu they're called rattlesnake bites, and all they are fried balls of cheese and 3 different types of hot peppers.
Huh.
And you dip these things in ranch dressing. I mean,
I've never had those.
Oh, they're amazing. They're called rattlesnake. I mean, they're amazing. I mean, I get those every single time we go there. A couple times I've just got those as my meal. I've got that and the salad and that. But yeah, I'm like Jared. I'll usually get the steak and the shrimp. They do the different combos, but I like it. Wasn't always my favorite, but Abby really likes it, so we go there a lot. So I've kind of grown to like it. So actually, it might be number 4 on my list. The other 3, the Ponderosa I've always mentioned, and the next 2 I'm going to mention are the they're the Taj Mahal. That's not a good thing. What's in that? They are. Listen,
Pretty spectacular.
my top 2.
They are the
My top 2
Mount
is
Rushmore.
Paul Brown Stadium.
let me tell you, my top 2, if they are not the first 2 restaurants in heaven when you enter the pearly gates, then I'm not sure.
You didn't go to heaven. You didn't go.
Exactly. I'm going to turn around and look at the angel and be like, whoa. Take the skin off your fake.
Yeah.
Because anyway, so we'll get to this. Jared, you're third on your list.
What about Chris? You already did his.
I did my
Yeah,
second.
he did his second.
Yeah,
And I did
you
my
started
second.
the segment,
Yeah, I'm
so
sorry,
you'll be
it'd
third.
your third. I'm sorry, you're third.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm back.
My bad.
So
I said his second. I meant your third.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback on that because I'm gonna jump to my number 1, just
Oh.
because Texas Roadhouse is
Yeah.
definitely my family's number 1. Not Texas.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Longhorns, by the way.
Anytime you say it, that's
Actually,
I've never seen a Longhorn there.
Longhorn Steakhouse is a good one too. There's one right there in Chillicothe. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So if you go down my list, you can see that I really like steak.
We've noticed.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
pancakes.
Oh, Charlie's does steak?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Spoiler.
Oh, they didn't.
He hasn't got to that one yet.
That place does steaks?
Yeah. Anyway, Texas Roadhouse. Like I said, that's my family's number one. Wherever we're going, if we are, that's where we're searching first. If we're going on a trip, coming back, whatever, doesn't matter. We're looking for Texas Roadhouse. That's where we spent my daughter's birthday on Monday. Was Texas Roadhouse. It was delicious, especially in the middle of the day.
It's a good way to spend the birthday.
President's Day. Yeah,
That's kind of vibes.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. Well,
What?
we need a kind of a country song to play
I know.
when you're talking
We
about
need
Texas
some
Road.
Brooks and Dunn.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah. Best,
Where all the
best
Cowboys
duo of
go?
all time.
Anyway.
Oh boy.
Oh,
We'll get to country music about episode 490. Never. All right, go ahead.
What?
Well, I mean, unless we're talking about Waylon Jennings. But anyway, go
It's
ahead.
not even real country.
How dare you?
Anyway, Texas.
How
Roadhouse,
dare you?
blooming onion, steak and shrimp,
Ooh.
salad, baked
Yeah.
potato, airtime.
You got to get the rattlesnake bites.
I may try that.
You guys got to help me understand. I don't know why people will mention a salad.
Salad's delicious.
Because salads are delicious.
But like,
Drench it in ranch dressing.
you can make
No tomatoes?
basically a salad's a salad. You can
Oh.
make that at home, but I guarantee the steak that you make is not going to taste like a Texas Roadhouse steak. A salad you make, you can duplicate
No,
that.
you can't.
No.
Lettuce
can't.
and tomatoes,
You
same.
can't. The salads that you get at a major restaurant, you can never get the exact same taste of those at home. You can't do it. Am I right?
I can't be
Jared?
wowed by a salad. I just can't be.
Well, I'm not saying we're wowed by it, but I mean,
It is perk.
drench it in ranch dressing. All right, Chris, your third one on your Mount Rushmore of
I'm
restaurants.
so excited about my number one, but I'm gonna do this one.
Oh boy.
But then it is again. This is an iconic restaurant. It is a Big Boy, the Big Boy. So famous, they made it into an Austin Powers movie. But like again, it's just one of those nostalgic restaurants.
Preparation H.
Well, yeah, but still. The Big Boy is, again, it's got the buffet, and it's got something for everybody. It's great American food at reasonable middle-class prices.
They have a good salad bar too.
Sounds good. I had
Well-
salad for breakfast last time I ate there.
Anyway, but it's just great. You see that symbol, Big Boy, and boom. Like, it'll either give you a childhood memory, something. So, for me, it's Big Boy. That's right, because I'm ready to get to my number one after that now.
Absolutely. That's another one that would have been if Mount Rushmore had 10 presidents' heads on it, Big Boy would be on my list. But we were only able to do 4. So this one, I told you that I gave you Ponderosa and Texas Roadhouse, which I love, by the way. Don't get me wrong. But the next 2 I'm going to give you are, without a shadow of a doubt, my number 2 and my number 1. And these are 2 restaurants that I would literally, if they were only located in California, I would either get in my car, or I think you 2 know this, I am scared to death of flying. I hate flying. I would literally fly to California to go to these 2 restaurants. And I take like knockout medicine to knock me out on a plane. That's how much I hate flying. I would do this for these 2 restaurants. My next one is Red Lobster. I mean, I am a seafood person. I also decided, Jared said, hey, wear shirts so we can have a theme. Chris shows up in bank attire, and Jared shows up like he wants to mug us. But anyway, sorry, that's not really that much
hoodie
of a...
is
that's
mugging material?
That's not, how dare you? Yeah, how dare you say that Jared looks like... I mean, it's a hoodie and, well, I mean, the goatee and the black hair and the cap, even though it is a Christian cap, Christians still steal from people. But anyway, I don't know if they mug people, but they do steal from people. Hey, didn't you ever take $1 out of the...
They steal their sorrow.
Didn't you ever take $1 out of the offering plate?
No.
Dang it.
Yeah, wrong one, Jared.
No, I never took
What are you
$1 out of the
trying to
offering
get? How
plate.
dare you? There you go.
No!
How dare you? I mean, sometimes you need 4 quarters. But anyway,
I mean, I just
You don't
didn't put
make
money
change in the offering plate.
sometimes you have 4 quarters and you need that. You want that dollar instead of the 4 quarters. So, hey, it's always good to hear rattling in the church. That's a joke, folks. But anyway, I am a huge seafood person. When I go to the beach, I mean, I love eating seafood down there, and I know there's a difference between when you're eating seafood at the beach and Red Lobster, but which I understand, but because it's a chain or whatever. But I'm telling you, 2 things: the ultimate feast, which is 2 types of shrimp, a crab legs, and a lobster tail, or my new favorite. That's the ultimate feast. My new favorite is the Admiral's good, but the Seafarer's Feast. It is shrimp, a lobster tail, 2 types of shrimp, a lobster tail, and scallops. Because I like the grilled, not the breaded scallops, like the grilled scallops.
I mean, I like butter too.
Oh, I mean, you got to dip, and you've got to dip it where you don't just dip it in, you dip it where the butter comes up above your fingers too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But anyway, that's
Do they have steak there?
They do, because that's what.
What did you just ask that about?
Well, that's what.
Seafood.
Abby Abby doesn't like. She doesn't like seafood. So when we go to, the biscuits? How could I forget the
cheesy biscuits?
The cheesy biscuits.
Oh my!
But yeah, Abby doesn't like seafood. So
that
she gets steak when she goes.
You can buy the biscuit mix at Sam's Club, and if you make it at home, it tastes nothing like the restaurant.
Absolutely. Listen, folks. This is not a shot. And if Abby was standing here, she would agree. This is not a shot at my wife's cooking. She buys every time we go to Walmart. She buys 4 or 5 boxes of where you can make the Red Lobster biscuits. She's made those probably 150 times in our marriage. Not once have they ever tasted like the real thing.
They're leaving something out in that box.
She'll tell you that too. But anyway, so Red Lobster. I'm a big seafood person, so it had to be on my list, but it doesn't come close to my number 1. But we'll get to that next. So now we're to Chris. Chris,
no, it's Jared.
Yeah, Jared. Back to Jared.
Jared's number 1.
I forgot we're going in a loop. Jared is this your? No, you already said you did your number 1. Yeah. So it's just Chris and I doing our number 1. So what's left on your list, Jared?
O'Charlie's.
Oh yeah, we already knew that because Chris spoiled.
Right.
O'Reilly. Oh wait,
point fingers.
That's an auto store. My bad.
So anyway, O'Charlie's. Me and Andrew used to go to it all the time, and then we found out Texas Roadhouse was coming to Huntington, so it replaced it. But it's delicious. I mean, all these restaurants we're talking about are delicious.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I mean, again, we're big dudes. We like to eat, and I like steak. And the Louisiana steak, it's good. It's got a little bit of a little kick to it.
Gumbo.
They have really good potato soup.
Yeah,
it's spicy a little bit too. Oh man, it's delicious.
Oh, and don't they have the little queso and chip sampler thing? But they on the queso dip, it's the kind of cheddar yellowish looking queso dip. But they put like little chunks of ground beef.
Yes.
And oh my gosh,
I think that's very underappreciated.
It is. I've only ate there a handful of times. The one right there at what is that, Merritt's Creek Mall?
Right across from Target.
Yeah, right beside or before you get to Target.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good one. So Jared, yours was. Let me make sure I got this. This is Jared's Mount Rushmore: Outback, O'Charlie's, IHOP, and Texas Roadhouse.
That's it. No particular order except for Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, Texas Roadhouse definitely your number 1. Chris Nida has given us Ponderosa, Cracker Barrel, Big Boy.
Yep.
And I believe Chris's number 1 is also going to be my number 1. But go ahead, Chris.
Is there like an Angels thing that you got that's like
there is. It's a harp, remember?
Yes, we need that before. Shoney's. It's been an establishment for 70 years. You know how you do that? By being America's favorite family dining restaurant in Business Magazine.
His words, nobody else's.
Shoney's. So, those of you who don't know, back in the day, where Ohio Valley Bank in Point Pleasant now sits, there was a restaurant that was called Shoney's.
Thanks a lot, Ohio Valley Bank.
Shout out to Ohio Valley Bank.
Yeah, thanks for taking
Thanks a lot for taking Shoney's.
So that Shoney's
They
was
were gone before they got there.
I'm not
Oh,
gonna
my.
lie. I wouldn't apply at OVB
Ooh.
for a while because I was ticked at him for taking Shoney's. From
I
Point
mean,
Pleasant.
that was a travesty. And after church, I used to go to church in Point Pleasant. I went to Sand Hill Church of Christ, and after church, we go to Shoney's. And I used to always get the potato soup. And now, even when we go, I still get like 7 bowls.
They have a
Notice all my food's in large quantities. However, they're small bowls.
They have a good salad bar too.
Oh my! Well, yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
I'm
They
telling you.
they do.
Salad's
But like
delicious.
when I was a kid, I was so bad. My parents used to take the potatoes out because I didn't like the potatoes in it as a kid. I just
So you
like
got
the
potato
I
soup
like
without
the
potatoes.
broth. Now I eat it with the
Oh,
stuff in it. But before, when I was a kid, I didn't. I put the oyster crackers in. But this restaurant, and my wife will attest to this. If you watch this, babe, comment somewhere. So when we go on vacation, we go to Tennessee or Myrtle. I'm like, I pass the Shoney's and I'm
there's
making
4 or
notes.
5 of them now.
I make a point to let everybody know. So if we go with just me and my kids and Beth, or if we go with my parents and like family, I always make sure everyone notices, hey, there is a Shoney's on the way home. I get this restaurant once a year. So one of the stops, either on the way there or on the way back, is going to be Shoney's.
Good call.
Don't care if everyone wants it. Don't care if no one's hungry. If it's the last one before we get home and
Even
you're
if
full,
you had Popeye's chicken right before
exactly.
that.
We're stopping and eating at that Shoney's because it's nostalgic. It's a place in my mind. I do believe it will be in the pearly gates. That'll be one of the places to eat at. Jeff Foxworthy advertises for them, if that tells you anything.
Wow, we don't have to go down that road.
But Shoney's, number 1.
Just telling me they pay for it.
All right, so my number 1 on my Mount Rushmore of restaurants is the same as Chris Nida. It is absolutely, it's Shoney's. Let me tell you, my growing up, when we would go on vacation, especially south, because that's where a lot of the Shoney's were. My dad liked Shoney's, and Mom and Dad both liked Shoney's, so that's where we stopped. I mean, you know, if we were going south and it was lunchtime and we were still 4 or 5 hours away from Myrtle or Florida, wherever we were going, we stopped at a Shoney's. I learned last year coming back, we went to Gulf Shores, Alabama. Between Gulf Shores, Alabama and Nashville, Tennessee, which is about the halfway point where we stopped to stay, there is about 6 Shoney's between Gulf Shores and Nashville. Now, my wife didn't stop at any of those 6, but apparently I'm going to have to pull the strings like Chris does for the once a year thing. But
Once a year,
yeah,
Abby. Once a year.
Well, yeah, definitely. But let me tell you, between the salad bar, what's wrong?
Once a year.
Once a year.
Once a year, you need to get what you. Yeah.
Well, between the salad bar and just everything. I mean, they had really good macaroni and cheese as well. Anyway, Shoney's, our kind of tradition became. You guys know, all 3 of us River Valley graduates. We all went to the old River Valley up in Cheshire. When I was a band geek, so I was at every single football game playing in the band. Every single home game, when the game was over, I would hop in the car with Mom and Dad, or later on when I was older, I would meet them over there. After River Valley's home football game, we would go up to Galplis, across the bridge, over to Shoney's, and that's where we'd have dinner after. So that's kind of nostalgic kind of memories for me, is eating there at least 5 times in football, or eating there 5 times every football season for the 5 home games after leaving Cheshire. So anyway, yeah, Shoney's is. I mean, I'm a big. I'm probably more of a fan of seafood, so it's might surprise some people that Shoney's is above Red Lobster, but it is. It's the thing is, I haven't ate at Shoney's. I would say the last time I ate at Shoney's was probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I think it's actually cool story. Well, it's not really a cool story because it's 26 years ago and nobody cares. But we did. I don't know if your guys' classes did it, but I think they kind of stopped it at some point. We would do every year. We would do a senior trip, but it was like the school, like Mrs. Sheets and Mr. Moore, and 5 or 6 of the teachers would go with us, and they would go down to Cocoa Beach, Florida. They'd stay at this, like the 94, 95, 96, all the classes before me, the several after me, they'd all stay at the same hotel. But we would leave. We would leave on the bus, take a Greyhound bus or whatever big coach bus, and we would leave like 6 o'clock on a Friday evening and travel overnight. And that next day we got there. We got to about 10 or 11 o'clock. and we stopped at a Shoney's in Georgia. That's just a cool memory. 67 seniors from River Valley High School eating at a Shoney's in Georgia. So that's a big highlight. But anyway, so that is, let's see here. Once again, Chris Knight, Shoney's, Big Boy, Cracker Barrel, and Ponderosa on his Mount Rushmore. Jared's was Texas Roadhouse, IHOP, O'Charlie's, and Outback. And mine was Shoney's, Red Lobster, Texas Roadhouse, and Ponderosa. So what we want you to do is we want you to tell us whose list is better. I mean, whose list is better?
Old Man Mountain is what Beth's going to call mine because she feels like those are all old man restaurants.
She's probably right.
She's way off. Yeah, no, yeah, you're
No,
Jared and I got a couple new age ones in, but
I mean, Waffle House was in my honorable mentions.
but it didn't make it.
you would have won. You would have won the South, no doubt.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We're from the North.
That's right. We're
Let everyone.
we're Yankees.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So so you all are watching this now. You're watching on YouTube. Down below, comment, like, and comment. Tell us what you think. Whose list is better? Go to our Facebook page and comment on that. Also, we mentioned earlier the mailbag thing. Give us your ideas for some Mount Rushmore segments. We're in our next episode, which, by the way, our next episode will be airing, what do we say, Jared?
March 11th.
March the 11th. So this one, the episode you're watching now, episode 2, drops on, you're watching it on Saturday, February 25th. And episode 3, which by the magic and technology, we're going to tape right after this one, but it'll post on March 11th. So that one will be a good one too. We're going to do a little bit different segment there. We're going to have a little ESPN draft style. Chris and I will draft like the Bengals do, and Jared will draft.
So I will win.
And Jared will draft. No, not over the last 4 or 5 years, my friend. Jared will draft in the second or third round. That's when the Browns and Steelers usually draft. So
Yours will probably be a show about
What?
gloves.
yeah,
Are you talking because we're always at the end of the first round? Like,
I would play that one, Chris, but I don't remember which one.
So which color did you label it?
I think no, it's not that one. Man, which one was it? Was it the orange one? No, that's the 2. Anyway, all right, folks. So we hope you enjoyed episode 2, Food for Thought, our Mount Rushmore of foods. Again, remember to like, share on Facebook, subscribe on our YouTube channel, and then also our mailbag. Send us some comments and suggestions to discuss. And then also in the comments on our YouTube page, when you're watching this, comment whose list was better. Who, was it the 80-year-old man, or was it the mid-50s guy here, or the teenager over here that likes all those new age restaurants or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you guys got anything else? We good. Hey, we kept
it under
we kept
an hour.
this one under an hour, like
hit our
episode
goal.
1. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. So, all right, folks,
Ish.
again, we hope you enjoyed episode 2, and join us in a couple weeks from now. We'll have episode 3. So, for myself, Jared, Chris, peace out, right? Now we're going to do this. Everybody's like, are you going to edit this out? Oh, yeah, we do. Let's do
You
some.
got to do the exit music.
Yeah, what do we want to hit?
That's
roll on.
Yeah, that's not
Dang it.
that's not going to be.
That's
Hold on.
not.
Hold
That
on.
was so anticlimactic.
Yeah,
Dang,
you hit
go
the
on.
button like this is going to be.
How about
great.
a little hip hop? There we go. Yeah.
That's what I was trying to hit.
Go, go,